asylum of the sand.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Psychedelic here? Wait a minute. This isn't the psychedelic pad. I guess we're doing this from the wilderness today. I don't know how I ended up here. I just woke up like 5 minutes ago and I just realized I'm surrounded by woods, bare trees. Wish I had my records with me. What the hell? How'd these end up here? Huh, interesting. And these are the exact records I was supposed to talk about today. Well, good thing you met up with me. If you happen to see a Sasquatch behind me, give me the heads up, okay? Even though you're seeing this in the future, this could be my last video. Who knows? Anyways, enough silliness. We're out here in the wilderness, undisclosed location, and decided to do an update out here. Mix it up a little bit, right? Got some stuff to share today, and these are all goodies too. So, got, let's see, you could say 3 reissues and then 1 archival. Well, it came out on acetate, but got released recently from Gearson. And I'm sure you guys listen to my live stream if you missed it. I talked about all these records, except for one of these that just came in the mail yesterday, which I still have to post on Instagram. Have not done so yet. But we're going to talk about some goodies here today. Let's start with this one. So, just stepping up my reissue game a little bit, even though they're a little tricky or hard to find these days, some of these, but I figure if original pressings are going for 500 bucks, we'll just go the reissue route. Gamora, their second record, Trauma. It's technically their second record, but most people consider it their first true release. Love this artwork here with the band members kind of fading away on the cigarette ash. Pretty wild, isn't it? It came out in 71. Their first album came out in 1970. I think all of the tracks are the same as the first one, but they were re-recorded under English lyrics. English vocalist hopped on board. And they kind of started out a little more on the beat, pop psych kind of vein. And then they kind of drew to the heavier German sounds. And then this is kind of the result on the second LP. And with Connie Plank on board, he was kind of like the engineer, producer behind this LP. He did a really great job, you know, as far as like the trajectory this band wanted to go in. It's a lot more vast and a lot of crisp mixing job on this one as well. And that's basically the takeaway with this record too. I mean, it does rock out throughout much of this. I would say the title track's probably the best moment on here, 13-minute cut. But the remaining is pretty much straightforward rock, but in a good way. Kind of their own take on it. Kind of what the UK was doing at the time. This is a long hair reissue. Comes with some liner notes, both in English and I think some other language here. Some lyrics on the back as well. The first album's never been reissued, sadly. I DJ'd this in the bar the week I got it. Blew me away on those subs, man. The mix was just a cerebral effect going on. The title track, though, it's got some cool moments. It's got like a couple different rhythms, and then it opens up with like, thought I heard Sasquatch. Opens up with some like different tempos it works with, and has a vocalist in the beginning section. Really good though. Dare I say, essential krautrock sounds going on here. So highly recommend it. And I probably gotta make this choppy because I gotta put these away and properly make sure no leaves or any deer droppings make it to the wax. Okay, and this next one, this is one that I also shared on the live stream this past Friday. If you guys aren't checking out my live streams, I do keep them up, so they're pretty raw, unedited, anything goes. I get harassed on there by Randy. We talk about his jazz collection. It's a fun time. Anyways, this is Unchained by Elias Hulk. This is the latest from Gearson. This came out last year. I'm just a little late to the party. Came with an awesome little mini poster here. Gonna definitely hang that up soon. Also comes with a little Obi strip, if I can find it here. So like I said, kind of late to the party with this one. Look at this gnarly cover, man. It's crazy. Based around the hard rock sound, but they go in different places too. It's not just like a Sabbath knockoff or anything. I mean, there's definitely nods to early Jethro Tull, Keith Hartley band, and like, you know, some Sabbath. But they kind of soak into their own mix here. It was definitely recorded kind of like on a low budget. Definitely has that sort of quality in the mix, but it doesn't bug me because the quality of the, you know, musicianship and everything that works with this turns out really well. Opens up great. We Can Fly. It's got some great pummeling drums going on. It's got that kind of like, yodeling's not the right word, but it's kind of that old style, kind of nasally country music star kind of vocal going on. And then right after that, got some more like caveman rock with Nightmare, Yesterday's Trip. What's the other one? Well, yeah, the last two tracks on here, it's like a instrumental piece, Delhi Blues. Kind of ventures into more like Eastern guitar, droney, and some slide guitar action going on. And then the last track, Ain't Got You. They finally take out the wah pedal and got some great grooves to it. It's a really great way to close the record out. Every track is always different. And it's not necessarily, some people call it blues rock. It's got some moments of kind of like this kind of boogie shuffling sort of thing, but it's not straightforward blues rock that they're coming at. It's kind of at an angle. But very glad to pick this up. I might enjoy this one if I had to compare the two, because I was always debating whether I should get this one or Orangutan. I probably prefer this one over Orangutan. By like a half star or something, you could say. So, yeah, it was a special order I got here through Vintage Vinyl, and very glad to scoop it up finally. This video is going to be so choppy. I'm just stepping on all kinds of thorns and debris. Anyways, this is the one I picked up yesterday through the mail. Now, with this particular pressing, I would prefer getting one through Gearson, but the price was so good. It was such a lowball price. I was like, let's do it. Wasn't sure what the quality was going to be like, but so far I'm pretty pleased by it. But then I also have only heard it once, so got to spin it a few more times. But this is actually Miguel Abuelo and Nada, I think is how you pronounce the whole entire name. It says Nada, which is really the band behind this is Nada, and features Miguel on here. And this is an alternate cover, by the way, as well as back sleeve. But the original cover I do like. I much prefer that one. But this is like the first reissue, you could say unofficial bootleg that came out, I think in the early 90s. But this is fantastic stuff, man. This is one of, guys, I spotted Sasquatch. They're moving along. Had to cut the video off there. This is kind of based also around sort of a hard, heavy psych edge. And Miguel, of course, I should talk about his background. So he originated from Argentina and would later like relocate after many failed successes, like in the late 60s. He tried getting bands started. They oftentimes dissolved, as well as this one, when they first started in '73. But he relocated to France and recorded this there. And it got recorded in '73, and then this actually got released 2 years after, once the band already had split in '75. For reasons I can't remember why. I think the songs were licensed differently or something. I'm a little fuzzy on the backstory yet. But regardless, this is killer shit, man. You got like, you know, some electric cello moving throughout, a lot of mid-tempo, up-tempo, moody swings to it. Sometimes even some like 70s heavy metal kind of peeking through. You got a lot of like guitar tapping in some spots, you know, way before Van Halen was doing it. And it's all thanks to Daniel on the guitar. Here on the back, here's the musicians there. And I'm not even going to pronounce the titles of the tracks, but I would say like my favorites would be like the third track. I think it's like a 9-minute cut. Yeah. And then like the 6th track, which is kind of more of a softer piece. But really, it's almost kind of reminds me of like, maybe if like Donovan was a little more on the, you know, trippier side. I don't know. It's got some kind of like progressive folk moments, but at the same time, total contrast with sort of this heavy metal, hard rock approach with like sort of like orchestral background, and it's got a lot of great production sounds to it and styles. So again, totally recommend this one. This is on the Fanny label. And the only thing I'm noticing different with this mix is that there is no flanging effects, which I've heard on streaming. Now, I don't know if that's like part of the original mix, if there's like these kind of flanging phasing effects going on, but they're barely present in this mix. But even though the mix is pretty good, and this is like, you know, this isn't sourced from any CD or anything, so I'm not really sure if it came from, I don't think it's from the original masters. It's probably from like a used copy or something, but who knows. Anyways, that's one of the little nitpicky things I happen to notice about the Fanny pressing. And it seems like it is pretty unofficial. I mean, even looking at the cover, you know, the alternate cover, you can tell it's pretty, I think it's even pasted on the cover, you know, so it's pretty shoddy work on there. But this last one, this is one that I also talked about on the stream. Saving the worst for last, apparently. Everybody I've seen that's talked about this online, even when I played it on the live stream, but not only that, like the interaction on Instagram and a few people on Rate Your Music, and I think even Sublime Media, I think he likes this. Because I heard, I watched the video when he posted it talking about this, but he said it was good, not mind-blowing, and that's kind of where I'm at on this, but I probably do like it more than, you know, the general census out there. And this is a brand new release from Gearson. This is Misty, Here Again. And this came out originally on acetate, got, you know, tracked around to different labels to pick it up, and I guess nothing fell through. They only made one official release, which was a demo for Parlophone back in the day, 1970. It was Hot Cinnamon, which is featured on here with the Flipside Cascades. Their style is kind of quirky. It's got kind of like this classical progressive rock sort of vibe, but in a pop psych kind of direction, sort of like leftovers of the beat and mod days, kind of crossing over into those kind of, you know, proggy circles, you know, sort of like the Nice, the Gods with Ken Hensley, and a little bit of like the End in here. Bill Wyman's The End kind of reminds me of. But yeah, a lot of people weren't vibing with this. I seem to be like the only pop psych guy in this little community here, but I don't know. I happen to enjoy it so much I picked it up. It convinced me. You have to kind of let some of these records kind of sink in a little bit, and sometimes they latch on. Tracks like Julie, I Can See the Stars, Lazy Guy might be my favorite so far. It's got kind of a bouncy, poppy flavor to it, and I love the vocals. It's kind of got this kind of wimpy, you know, lightweight, sort of naive sort of vocals. I love that style. And I don't remember if, I think some of the members might have went on to do some stuff like in the 70s, but it's a little fuzzy. It's kind of a fuzzy area. They did perform on television, as you guys can see. I think there was like a 15-minute TV clip. I don't think it's on YouTube, but it's out there somewhere. Otherwise, how'd they get those photographs? Get a little shot here. Anyways, you know, if I had my only complaint about this is that, you know, the mix does sound kind of dry. I wish instead of like all organ led. I wish it was kind of like a little more guitar driven, or had a little more strings overhead, or a little more reverb drenched in the mix or something. I don't know. It needed a little more finesse to work, but for what it is, I still really enjoy it. And for that reason, it's a keeper for me. So this is on the Somar label, actually, through Pearson. So yeah, don't know. I mean, I would recommend it, but apparently the reception was not too good. Vinyl Richie did not vibe with those sort of Emerson, Lake and Palmer classical pieces. I mean, there's moments like that. There'll be interludes and outros where they kind of do these classical organ pieces that only last like a minute at best, you know. But I get it. It's not for everybody. And I think a lot of the other stuff in this video you guys would vibe with if you guys are into the sort of heavier type of titles. So yeah, that's all I got for now. And I think I hear Sasquatch again. Let me know if you hear anything, or if I missed him. You know, I'm sure you guys let me know in the comments, but otherwise, if I'm not here within about a month or so, something's happened to me. Anyways, guys, take care, and we shall hopefully see you at my pad. I gotta find my way out of here.